All right, good morning, folks. It's Sunday morning, November 24th, 2019. I ended up sleeping in a little bit, so I'm running a little late, and I haven't had my morning tea, so we'll see how I am on this. So today we're going to do a little bit of another evaluation on a property that we've got. This one we've had for a little while. Haven't had a chance to get to it. But this is one of my investors. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 full bath. Needs some work. It's probably in a C or a D area. We're just kind of going to get into it. We're going to look at, see what it needs work-wise, and then we'll maybe run some numbers towards the end, see what we got. All right, ready? Let's do it. Doing glitches here. There we go. All right, here's our property at hand here. Okay, let's see what we got here.
There's low-hanging branches.
So we got to do some trim work on this house.
Start with. Grass needs mowed.
Yeah, the grass needs to be mowed.
Porch, as well as a little bit of debris down here. Windows look good.
Again, we're looking at the windows. Now, here's one thing about this house. This has got older windows. Let's back up a little bit here and look at this. See how these are all single pane? These have still got the glazing compound around the windows. The problem with these older windows, yes, they're serviceable. The problem is that you put people in place, and I think we talked about this in yesterday's video. You put people in place, and then they go in there, and then we get into a winter where we're 10, 15 degrees or whatever, and their furnaces are having to work a lot harder in order to keep up with the heat. And most of that heat is going out through these windows. So, I really would recommend we do some upgrades on windows. Now, that's just a front picture window, but it looks like all the rest of them are also as well. See how you can see some glazing compound up here and glazing compound down there. These are older wooden windows. They don't seal very well. You can see here at some point in time there's this inner track here, probably some screening material has been put in. Looks like we probably did that. Some of these older houses, what we'll do on for screens, because you can't get a screen, frame and everything that goes through these windows. So we'll put that little, it's like a ½ an inch thick, and then it's about 1 inch wide. It's like a tack strip, and we'll put that up there, and we'll wrap those around, and then we'll put the screen material underneath it. So this house, I'm pretty sure, does not have air conditioning. No central air, no nothing. So that's why you got to make sure you're putting screens in place. All right, so let's keep going here. So again, yeah, see, we've put in a lot of screens on these windows. Looks like there's some deck work here that needs to be done.
Light fixture here that's falling.
Yeah, exterior light fixture. Did I already do a scope of work on this house? Maybe I already did. Let me check my notes real quick. I did. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I had one of my people do one. So anyway, so we're going to run through this, or we'll just watch it and see what happens. So he's talking about the light up there that needs to be replaced. There's some issues here with this deck.
Here's the garage area.
So this is an older wooden garage, obviously, you can see here, but it's in pretty rough shape. I doubt that this thing opens up because it's been overgrown by weeds and whatnot. Ivy, overgrowing everything. Doesn't appear to be electrical out here to this thing.
It's definitely in its dilapidating stages.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Look at that. Somebody tried to fix the walls to re-hold them back up, so they put in some 2x4s.
Lawn chairs around back. Overgrow. A bunch of overgrow on the shed.
Yeah, that thing's just rough. Oof.
Masonry blocks. More overgrow.
Got a nice yard, big yard. I mean, I don't know about nice. There's a bunch of trash and stuff out there. It's got a big yard.
There's ivy galore back here.
For those of you wondering, this is the heart of Indianapolis. This is downtown, or not downtown, but I mean, you know, it's inner city, inside the loop, 465 loop. Wonder what happened to the left side of that. So there's several windows on this house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably another 3 or 4 on the other side of the house. So let's say there's like 10 windows on this house. Oh no, I'm sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a big picture window. So, yeah, see. They tore it all out already.
Doors falling off, probably in the move. Just on that. There's a living room.
So they've still got a lot of furniture left in this house.
Soft spot in the floor in the living room.
He just said there's a soft spot in the floor in the living room, so maybe we've got some subfloor issues in here. All right, come on, keep the camera level.
It's about maybe 10 feet in and to the right. Walls look pretty good. Just some patching, maybe some touch-up work or some holes where they had some stuff. Just a little bit of trash. Recliner. Entertainment center stand. TV stand. Just a hallway. Missing a piece of trim here on the bottom. Looks like the
I'm having a hard time hearing him.
door's been kicked in once or twice. See, there's some mold here in this closet / utility area.
So yeah, so right down here, down low, there's my mouse right down there. We're seeing some stuff. So this is where they have the hookups to the washer and dryer.
Washer.
Dryer hookup. So there's probably a leak in there, so we have to check and see what we got.
Bedroom 2, the one looks fairly good. The trim is a little messed up here on the entry door. Attic access.
See, some of these floors look like some of our stuff.
Sliding doors. Work. Needs a handle on this side. Some, looks like tacky stuff needs to be pulled off the wall. Window is good. Works.
So that one looked like it was a relatively new window. So this room here has got a bunch of, you know, like the sticky stuff you put on
Pretty good. Need to touch
hang
up the
pictures up with.
baseboards. A little rough. Door latches needs to be adjusted just so you gotta slam it hard. Utility door doesn't even shut. Bathroom door could be replaced or fixed. It's got some it's broken on the inlay, the panel. There's a bathroom.
Bathroom here, that's an interesting choice of siding there.
There's a soft spot in the floor on the bathroom, dead center by the toilet. See, the whole shower needs to be recaulked. You got some rot over towards the left-hand side of the shower. Window opens and shuts. Lock that. Toilet is loose. There's the bathroom. These wooden slats on the walls, ridiculous. There's the kitchen.
Hey, there's a pot lid. Anybody need a pot lid? So we got some issues
The
here
drawer
with the
works. No handles though, but they do work. The gas stove. Looks pretty good in here. I don't see nothing, maybe some touch-up paint. The baseboard, all the baseboards definitely need to be touched up. This door has a hole in it here. Not too big, you might be able to patch that. Closet doors need to be rehung in here. Patching on the walls, there's just some minor holes and stuff everywhere, basically. Maybe paint up the windows, clean them up a little bit.
Yeah, see, that's a good point. See how they put the glazing in and they tried to touch up paint the windows, but then they didn't scrape the windows afterwards. I mean, you know, I guess it's just, they're half butting it, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just things we deal with. There's a lot of half button in this house. I'm a little worried we're going to have trouble trying to touch up these walls, but we'll do our best to touch up. It sounds like 2 rooms need to be repainted, the bathroom and 1 bedroom, but the rest of them
Closet
seem to be
rod is falling off of the wall.
Nobody up this early for this live stream, huh? Oh, looks like I got a couple people that are here.
Drywall repair right there.
Yeah, we got some drywall repair right towards the entrance.
This is 156.
I think that was the only video I got on this property. Yep, that's the only one I got on this one. All right, so let's kind of run down some numbers here on this one. Here's what I put in, and let me pull up this other one here. I'm going to use that other one here. Hold on. A little bit more in detail about what's going on here. So clean up interior and yard, trim branches and trees. Actually, I think it's going to be interior and yard. I think it's going to be closer to 750. Needs new light. Back porch needs new light. That was that one we saw. Let me see here. Back neck has some boards coming up, needs screwed down. I don't think we need to replace anything, so let's figure we got a couple boards we're gonna have to replace. The back garage, oh boy, I don't know what we're gonna do with that one. We're gonna have to look at that again because it was overgrown. There was no siding in place. It was kind of a big mess. Front screen door, repair or replace. Typically a screen door like that's like 80 or 90 bucks, and then so you probably got 60 or 70 to install it. Front entrance, there's some trim missing. So 75-ish. Front entrance, front door has been kicked in a few times, needs replaced. Okay, so we need to replace that. I didn't see that when we were walking through the video. We'll blame it on the morning. Yeah, no morning tea. Let's see what we got here. I guess morning coffee for the rest of you guys. So typically a front door is like 140, and then installation's probably another 75. So let's say it's like 225. And again, my numbers are always, you know, just rough estimates. Sometimes, you know, like what I look at and say, oh, that's 750. Somebody else will look at it and go, no, it's only 500. Or somebody will say, that's 1,000. And then something else that I'm like 225 on, they'll be like, no, that's only $125 on. So, I mean, you know, it kind of washes out in the mix. And what we typically do is I just kind of give an all budget to one of my guys and be like, you know, here's what you're looking at. You know, if it's a newer one, then what we'll do is if all my guys are tied up and I've got multiple people that I'm sending it out to, then I send them the scope of work and I say, here's the scope of work. Our budget is this. That's materials and labor. And then, you know, basically like first person who wants it can have it. So, all right. So this one's a little unnerving here. Living room, soft spot in the floor, 10 feet in and toward the right. So there's some subfloor issues there, so we're gonna have to do some repair there. Now, I don't know if we installed that flooring. I don't think that was our flooring, so my problem becomes if I start ripping up floors to fix subfloor issues, then I'm probably gonna have to redo that room. So, as far as flooring goes, does that make sense? So if we got a soft spot in the floor, we're gonna have to open it up and we're going to have to check the rafters and all that sort of stuff. So let's just say that there's no issues underneath. Maybe it's an old leak or something like that. It's just been soft for a long time. So we probably got $200-300 just in fixing that, but that doesn't include our flooring. So let's say that room was 12 by 12, it's 144 square feet, and we got to refloor it. So we're probably at $450 in flooring if we have to redo that flooring in that room. And then so I'm going to say it's probably like $750, but we may come in cheaper. You know, we may be able to salvage that flooring. Maybe some of our old LVP that we use that you could peel it up and then you can put it in again. Let's see here. Living room patching and touch up work on the wall, small holes where things were hung. So just a little touch up there. So I'm actually going to do interior touch up, paint, bedroom needs a repaint, and bathroom needs a repaint. Bedroom and bathroom needs repaint. So let's say that there's, you know, patch and paint, interior touch up. So let's say there's $200 or $300 in patch ups throughout, and then we got 2 rooms at $150 a piece, so that's $300. So let's just say it's like $500. Typically, I could repaint this entire house for, let's see, there was living room. Let's see, living room, kitchen. There is a. You were praying. What were you praying about, Frank? Am I interrupting your church this morning, brother? You're supposed to be listening to the sermon, not listening to me. Let's see here. So we got living room. We got that little interior room next to that. We've got the utility room, which really isn't a utility room, but whatever. We'll call that a utility room. Kitchen, and then what? 2 bedrooms. So we got like 5-6 rooms. So I mean, it's probably about $1,050 by the time you're all said and done with that. So I mean, it's not that big of a difference probably, but there was a lot of patch, you know, spots that needed patches and whatnot like that. All right, so let's see what else we got going on. Living room, trash, clean out. Okay, so I'm kind of already included that up top here. Let's see, front utility. So there's some mold in here. So this, well, basically what we'll end up doing is we'll probably have to open up the wall. And then we'll remove the stuff that's all bad, and then we'll look for our leak to see if we probably do have an active leak, so we'll have to fix that. So I'm going to say it's probably like $200. Open it up and do the patching and whatnot like that. Bedroom 1, so we got some door trim that needs fixed. Let's just say it's about $75. Probably should have. Somewhere up here I had some more trim missing. Yeah, well, about $75 I put in there. Sliding closet doors need handle. That's more like miscellaneous stuff. We have a miscellaneous that we put down at the bottom, right? So, yeah, this one here is probably why I'm thinking that we're going to repaint this room. So that'll be part of that interior touch-up and paint. Bedroom walls need touch-up and paint in some place. Actually, I think we're going to do a repaint on this room. So, we got touch-up baseboards. There we go. Door latch needs adjusted. Slams hard. That's part of our miscellaneous. And I included this in here even though we've already got it in here up higher. We're going to do touch-up paint. Door latch needs adjusted. Door needs to be fixed or replaced. Broken on inlay panel. Yeah, so we'll leave that in there for the guys. Soft spot on the floor in the center room. Okay, so again, we got another bathroom subfloor issue. This is pretty typical for homes of this old age that haven't been touched in a while. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to pull it up. We're going to replace the flooring too at the same time. So you probably got 30 square feet. Typical bathroom is about 30 square feet of flooring, but you got to pull up the toilet. You got to pull up. You probably will have to pull up the toilet in that whole process. So there's probably $300 or $400 there. So I'm going to overestimate and put in 400. Yeah, we'll have to check out that caulk and the damage. I'm going to put in maybe a couple hundred. Yeah, let's put in 200 just to be sure. Bathroom toilet is loose, needs tightened. So hopefully while we're doing that subfloor, we'll be getting into this. We may be overkill on this one here, the 400, but yeah, we do have to mess with some toilet and stuff like that. Kitchen drawers need handles, so I'm going to say about 150 there to replace the handles on that. And again, this is part of our touch-up and repaint. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and move it. So again, some more doors that need done. Closet doors need rehung. So we'll put in like 75. Patching on the walls, minor holes throughout. paint, windows, and trim. And this is scrape slash paint, windows and trims, closet rod falling off the wall. Some drywall repair in the hallway. Blinds need replaced throughout. And then we get to our last thing, which is miscellaneous. This one's a little bit rougher, so I'm going to raise the price on miscellaneous stuff. So I'm going to put in like $750 for miscellaneous stuff. So that'd be like smoke detectors and blah, blah, blah. And just other stuff that we're going to run into. And then a final clean. And again, my guy basically is like $250 for a final clean. You know, I could probably find... It's just not worth it to me. Price, quality, and speed. I'm going for quality. Or I'm sorry, yeah, quality and speed. I'm not going for price as much. So, I mean, you know, I could find some mom that does it, but every time I've ever found, or not necessarily a mom, but you know what I'm saying. I find somebody who does cleanings, then it just, they're good for the first one or two, and then they're gone. And so, anyways, so we'll do that one there. So where are we at price-wise here to get this thing back up to normal? It's not as bad as I really thought, but there is some issues that we don't know about that we're just going to have to figure it out. Pull my calc in. Oops. All right. So 750 plus 75 plus 100 plus 150 plus 75 plus 225 plus 750 plus 500 plus 200 plus 75. 400 plus 200 plus 150 plus 75. Plus 750 plus 250. So we're still almost $5 grand, $47.25 on this property. So, that's kind of where we're at now. So let's look at some numbers on this property, shall we? Let me pull up my cheat sheet on this one. I already kind of ran through it a little bit. So here's where we're at on this property. Give me a second here. I gotta pull something up real quick. All right, so this house will probably rent for $650. Now, if the garage was in better shape, I would say it would rent for $700. I pulled up property taxes. Property taxes are about $1,215. We could probably insure this house for about $550 a year. I'm going to figure our vacancy credit loss is 1 month, so about 8%. I like 2 bedrooms, though. 2 bedrooms, you get tenants, and they usually want to stay for a while. So, I would leave that in there. 10% for average repairs, because we're really not digging into this house very deep. So I definitely am going to figure it's going to be at least 10%. So we're going to have some ongoing maintenances and whatnot. Accounting and legal, I always figure that in, and 10% for property management. So that's an interesting point, property management. Now let's say you're self-managing, right? If you're looking at a deal, you need to be figuring property management into this number, because you may not be figuring property management into it, but everybody else is going to be when they look at your deal. So if you were going to go sell this property to somebody else, they're probably going to have a property manager. So you always want to figure in the 10%. Now, if you're coming in out of state or whatever, and you're going to have it professionally managed, then yes, I would figure in 10%. So anyways, I don't know how much he's got into this house, how much he bought it for, or whatnot. But if we run the numbers the way we've got them right now, his cash flow on this is about $307 a month. So, you know, so that's not bad. I mean, that's pretty good. I usually like to see it closer to 400, but anywhere in that 300 to 400 is not too bad. Obviously, we're going to put some repairs into this house. 300, so he's making about $3,700 a year. So we just blew through a year and a half of his profits off this house. So, you know, we just kind of got to work with what we got to do, right? So anyway, so that's pretty much like that deal right there in a nutshell. Should we, let's see, how long are we here? 10 o'clock, so we're going for half an hour. Should I do another one? What do you think, Frank? Should I do another one? Let's look at another one real quick. Take me a couple seconds to get to another one. Let me look at my list of houses I got to do sheets on. I'll do a quickie, like a 1-bedroom. All right, we'll do a quickie real quick. I have not seen this video, so we're gonna get in here. Hopefully I've got this video. I do have this video. Ooh, it's a 3-parter. That's never good for us. All right, so let me fire this up real quick. So this is a triplex here that we've got. So there's one unit here, there's one unit here, and then there's a unit out back. And what we're gonna be looking at today is the unit out back. So this one house here is you come in the front door and there's a little room like 10 by 10. Some people will call it the bedroom, some people call it the living room. And then you go up some set of stairs and then you got this whole upstairs. And then upstairs there's a big gigantic room, and then there's a kitchen, and then there's a bathroom. So we're gonna go into the back unit, which is basically like 3 rooms, I think. And so we'll just kind of go with the flow and see what we get.
2019. This is an inspection video for 1444B.
We skip forward a little bit.
Outside.
I'll try and protect these addresses as much as I can here.
This is 1444A right here. The gutter broken.
All right, so we got a gutter issue. Let me
strap down
here. Hold on.
by a bungee. And there's no extension piece. So it's all just draining right here.
We need to scrape and paint a couple windows here.
Yeah, but it's not that bad.
Now that's an exterior door for that back unit.
Coming up a little bit. It's not.
Pressure wash.
Nothing too bad.
He's got a buddy running with him. Again,
Could use a pressure wash around the sides.
A couple blinds are gonna have to be replaced.
The blinds inside are
This one's good. Could use a new extension piece right here.
He's got flip-flops on. He's not planning for the future at all.
1444B. I'm going to keep looking around. Missing some soffit.
A little bit of siding issues there.
The siding is all jacked up. And this wood right here eating up. That's soffit. Got a hole in it. Some birds.
Yeah, look at the gutter. How did that get crushed?
Needs to be
How does that happen?
replaced.
You can't get like back a truck into it.
ASAP. Pressure wash on the side. Yeah,
This is the north side, so we should definitely see some stuff over there.
The exterior. Move into the interior of 1444B. Here's a screen door.
It's all jacked up.
It's broke. It could be repaired. Some new screen. And another screw for right here. The floor is warped right here. Probably from water or something.
I don't remember we had any issues at that house for water.
The walls look good. They don't need any paint. Maybe small touch-ups.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Miscellaneous stuff left behind by the old tenant.
We gotta get rid of some trash.
All the cabinets look good too.
Oh no, we didn't have no dog. Oh no, we never would have a dog in this house. It's a nice dog bowl you got there, buddy. It's an S-trap. That's nice.
The countertop is a little chipped away, but it's might be repairable.
I'm gonna put in. We're gonna replace it. It's about a 12. And a free computer monitor or TV or whatever. Probably a camera's hooked up, so they're probably recording everybody and anybody. I think we're gonna have to replace the flooring in here. We're gonna have to look at that subfloor issue. These are the old. We used to use allure flooring, and it's kind of a floating floor, and it was really good because it was
able to use some paint.
Kind of easy to do.
Looks like color of the floor definitely needs some attention. Bathroom. Shelves look good. A little space heater. The toilet is on the floppy side, the wobbly side.
Okay, so we gotta do some minor repairs
Some
on
new
that.
flanges. Tub might need recaulked.
We did that crummy job of caulking.
New PVC. Sink looks good. Mirror.
So what I was saying earlier about the allure flooring is that it's a floating floor and it's kind of sticks to itself. But you could use a heat gun and you could heat up individual panels, pull them out, and replace them.
This door's not shut.
But what we would see was over time you would see a lot of separation. You would see
Into the living room.
yeah, quite a few bit of stuff in there. Need a couch? Hey Frank, baby, you want a couch? It's all yours, brother.
Could use some small touch-ups.
No, it seems like screen doors
Couple
always
marks
seem to
and
get abused pretty heavily.
scuffs on the walls.
Cabinet pulls. Some of the houses we don't really do cabinet pulls in. Okay, this here is an example of, here, I'll show you this real quick. I'm going to go back. So this house, when we originally took this house over, it had one furnace in it.
Radiator.
You can have all the bed bugs you want, Frank. So when we originally took over this house, several years ago, let's try and get this back a little bit. Anyways, you can see what I'm talking about. Baseboard heaters. When we originally took over this house, there was one furnace in the house. So the owner paid heat, which in a cold climate is just a big no-no. What you're running into is tenants will crank the heat up in the wintertime, and then when they're hot, they'll open up windows. So your electric fuel bills could be just crazy high. So what we usually do is we'll go in and install and separate the electrical for each unit, and then we put in the baseboard units. So Indiana is kind of a climate where you can get away with air conditioning. But I mean, it's obviously as advantageous as I was talking about earlier. Is a lot of times we like to put in central air. You can't do it on like a triplex like this, or not very cost effectively. You can't put it in. We like to put central air into houses if we can, because we can increase the rents about $50 or $60 a month. Excuse me, and then we can also the tenants will stay longer. So that's a big plus for us.
Everything's sealed up behind the windows.
Yeah, see, these are double pane windows here. so that means better energy efficiency.
Trash and such. Closet looks pretty good. Let's redo the floor. The trim maybe too. Small scuff right here.
Alright, so that was part one. Let me look here. I'm trying to see if I did this already. Minor trash removal. Okay, I did. So that's more than minor trash removal. Alright, so let's look at view 2. Not U2. Man, we got free bed. You sure you about those bed bugs there, Frank? You sure you don't want them, buddy?
The door looks okay. Could use some paint. The walls don't look too bad. Trim.
Bunch of furniture to get rid of.
This looks good. Closet.
Who puts a slide bolt on a closet?
Where the cable line was.
Interior wall. I don't know why they would have done that. Register van. So not too bad. This should be a pretty easy, quick.
Here's the back door. It's not as bad as the last one.
That door didn't get used a lot. That's why that storm door
That about
is
wraps
still
it
in
up
good shape. We
for
need to do a little trim at the top of that.
1444B Richland. I'm gonna have a second video with the measurements of the floor.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
Cool. All right. So here's my stuff on this one. Let's see. We got the repairs, the gutters on the front. I'll probably do that for like 150. But overall, I think we got some other repairs on gutters. So let's do 250. Going around it. Scrape and paint a couple of windows. There was that one that was done. So I'm going to say we got about 150 on some of those windows. Maybe even not that much. Maybe only just that one window. So 75. Oops, not 750. Several blinds, so that's miscellaneous. And final clean. I'm gonna add that in there. And I'm gonna figure it's gonna be 200 for this final clean. All right, so several blinds, minor siding issues. So I'm gonna say we probably got like 250-ish there. Minor gutter issues. That's already probably up there at top. We'll just say repair gutters as needed. Several blinds, minor siding issues, rear screen door. So it's about 80 bucks for a screen door. That one was pretty rough. I mean, we've repaired that one 2 or 3 times, so I think it's about time to replace it. So we probably got 80 bucks in a screen door, and then another. So we probably got 150 in this by the time we're just said and done. Trash removal. Didn't I already have that in there? Can I make the font of my punch list bigger? Come on, man. You mean 10 isn't big enough for you, brother? Yes, I will make it bigger for you, old man. There you go. Trash removal. Replace countertops. So that's about a 12-footer. So 12-footer is about, I think that's the biggest we can get at Lowe's. So there's probably, and I think that's about 100 to 150 bucks. And then install, so it's probably 250-ish. Trash removal, there's quite a bit of furniture in there, so I'm gonna punch in like 750, but I don't think it'll be that much. Subfloor issue in the kitchen, so we got some issues going on there, so I'm gonna say we're probably gonna open it up quite a bit. We're gonna have to replace the flooring in there, So that's a pretty big room. I think it's like 15 by like 15. So I don't even know, man. I'm not mathing it up this morning real fast here. 15 times 15. 225. So let's say that's about $700 in flooring to replace that room. Is that right? 225 times 3, 675. So yeah, basically $700 we got in flooring. Plus we got probably another $200 or $300 to do that. So it's probably about $1,000 job to repair the subfloor issues in that kitchen. And while we got it open, we'll take a look underneath and see what we got going on. Because we've had some issues in the past with this house. So maybe we can do some with like pipes freezing and stuff like that. So maybe while we've got that big opening open, let's wrap that up to $1,500, and then we can kind of go in there and really kind of solidify that house so we're not getting, you know, frozen pipes in the wintertime and stuff like that. Minor touch-ups throughout. I'm going to put like I would say between $300 and $400, so let's say $350-ish. Toilet loose, that should be miscellaneous. Caulk the tub, probably miscellaneous. So let's put it in the miscellaneous. Let's put in like $350-ish, right? All right, so where are we at here? We got 250 plus 75 plus 250 plus 150 plus 750 plus 250 plus 1,500 plus 350 plus 350 plus 200. So about 4 correct. Okay, 4125. Oops. So now this property is a little bit different. I'm going to go home, new. So this is a multifam. Oh, needed a power wash. Did it? Yeah, I guess he did say that, didn't he? It wasn't too bad. So we'll jack that up to 375, 4375, because it's about 250 to power wash. All right. What else you want, Frank? What else you want me to include on that bad boy? So this one's a little different. So there's 3 units there. I want to say the 1 bedrooms go for $450. There's a 2 bedroom on the other side, and that goes for $500. But we add in water, because we supply the water and sewer. And that's one thing on these multifams in Indiana you got to be real careful about. Okay, so there's a couple of different things on multifams in India you got to be careful of. I think it's 4 things we got to watch out for. One is it takes longer to find a tenant to rent from those. So typically in my single family houses I can rent those out in 2 to 4 weeks. Multifams in India, it takes me about 4 to 8 weeks to find a tenant. And it's not for lack of applicants, it's for lack of good applicants. And the problem is, or the issue is, or the whatever, there's a ton of single family houses, like 2 bedrooms and stuff like that. And the price difference between a single family house and a multi-family house is not that big, like $100 to $150 a month, right? Now, I mean, obviously that's a decent chunk, but I think most people would rather spend the money and live in a single family house than have a bunch of neighbors, right? So, all right, so that's one thing, is it takes longer to find good tenants. Your average tenant only stays 1 or 2 years in a multifam versus like our single family houses, those are staying for 4+ years on average. Then the other thing is, so you got more turnover, right? And the average good turnover on a house is probably $1,000 to $2,000. So we'll run the numbers, but you can seriously eat up your profits pretty quickly. We've already seen that on the other houses we've looked at. So you got higher turnovers, you got longer turnovers, and then the other thing is shared utilities. You got to watch out for shared utilities. A lot of these older houses, you don't want to be paying for heat, but water and sewer is quantifiable. It's about $60 a month, between $50 and $60 a month. So per unit, sorry. So you can figure that in, but you don't want to be in the business of providing heat. So you got to watch out for that stuff. A lot of these multifams were built in the 50s or older, and then you're supplying the heat. And then the last thing is, let me look at my notes. Hold on. oh, they're just older. They've got deferred maintenances. So you're just going to have a lot more issues. You know, you don't have one kitchen, you got 3 kitchens. You don't have one bathroom, you got 3 bathrooms at a minimum. So those are just things you got to kind of deal with. So, all right, so let's say it's $500 per unit, one bedrooms. So that's $1,000. Or then the 2 bedroom is rented for $600, I think. No, $550. So we got basically, we're $1,550 in rents for this property. Taxes, I got to pull it up. Give me a second. Wasn't expecting to do this. This property, the taxes on it, this is cheap, $969 a year. And again, property insurance is about $550. We're going to put this, now the vacancy credit loss, we're going to put that at 12% per year. And then average repairs, we've been working on this house for a while, so it's pretty ironed down, but just for our numbers, I'm going to put in our typical 10%. Property management, 10%. So, how's that for numbers? Your cash flow, your net operating income is about almost $900 a year, or month, sorry. So it's over $10,000 per year. But again, you got 3 units here. And you're going through tenants about every 1 to 2 years on these properties. That was actually an eviction we just did. So that one's in pretty decent shape for an eviction. Most of the tenants that we have, that we've placed in tenants, when we do end up having to evict, we have about a 1 to 2% eviction rate. When we do end up evicting them, they leave them pretty decently, right? Like that's not too bad, that unit right there. We got some clean out, we got some touch up, you know, but we do have some issues there that, you know, the subfloor issue was the one that got us. But otherwise, I mean, we would have been at, you know, if we took out that $1,500, you know, we're right in there, right? About a little over $2,000, 28 something. Is that right? Am I wrong? 43.75. It's early. 43.75 minus 1,500. Yeah, 28.75. So what are we at there? 896 divided by 896. So he just ate 3.5 months worth of profits, or you know, net operating income to pay for that. So I mean, that's basically how we run the numbers on that bad boy. I don't know how much he's got into it. I forgot how much we paid for that. He's been with me forever, so we've done quite a bit of work on that house. So I don't know how much he's got into it. So I can't run cap rates and stuff. But his $900 a month is pretty good cash flow on that property. And it rents pretty quick. It's actually across the street from an elementary school. So we get a lot of single parents who are, you know, they got their kids and they like to walk them over to school every day. So anyway, so all right, so I think that's pretty much us. You got any more questions for me? Anybody got any questions? Frank, you there, brother? I don't know how fast this thing updates. I think we're pretty good. That kind of shows you some of the numbers here in Indy, what we're looking at, and that shows you that house. So anyway, so I think we're in pretty good shape. Frank's quiet. No questions, that's what he said. So, all right, if you guys have got any questions, comments, whatever, you want to see something that I'm not showing you, I need to show you some real train wrecks. I've got a couple of train wrecks that I need to run through. But that's basically numbers. And so anyways, if you guys got questions, comments, whatever, click the subscribe button. And I'm going to try and do these. I'm going to do unplanned scopes of work because I got to get a bunch of these done for our houses that we're working on. So I'm going to try and do those off and on throughout the week, but I'll try and plan one for at least Saturday morning that's questions and answers, so you guys can come on and ask me questions and stuff like that. So, yeah, click the bell. Thanks, Frank, buddy. All right, guys. Appreciate your time. If you got any questions, let me know. Thank you. Peace.